So here we're looking at a sine curve, and we've got to find A, B, C, and D. Now A and D are quite straightforward. They basically refer to the vertical manipulation. So I'm going to find A as the amplitude. So we go from 3 to -5. That difference is 8. We halve it, and that gives me the amplitude, which is also the A value. So I know that A is equal to 4. Now D will be the principal axis. So halfway between 3 and -5, the halfway point is -1. So they are straightforward. That's the vertical manipulation A and D. So we're going to do that first. Now for B, this is the B number affects the period. Now normally what we do is we take the period of a normal sine curve, which is 2 pi, and we divide it by B, and it gives me the period. I have no markings on here apart from the maximum and minimum points, and I'm going to use those to work out the period. So if we go from here to here, we've done half a period. So we're going to do 11 pi over 12, take away 5 pi over 12, it gives me 6 pi over 12. That's half a period. If I want to go around again and continue this up here to get to a full period, we're going to times that by 2 to give me my full period, which is 12 pi over 12, which is pi. So what I've done is I've taken 2 pi, I've divided it by B, and I've ended up with pi. So the B number must be 2. So I've got 3 of the points so far. Now the C number is going to be the hardest point to do, always. The C number is the number that affects the phase shift, but it's affected by the period, the B number, which affects the period. So what we have is we have to take an X number, and instead of timesing it by 2, we divide by 2, and then we add C, but that's also divided by 2. So what we have is we have an X number. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my X number that I know is the highest point of a normal sine curve, which is pi, divided by 2. And I am going to times that by 1 over B. And then I'm going to add the C number also times by 1 over B. So where am I getting that half from? It's 1 over B, and that will take me to the highest point, which is 5 pi divided by 12. And I'm just going to go through that again so we're sure about this. Pi over 2, where did I get that from? That's normally the highest point on a sine curve before I start manipulating it, the maximum. Times it by a half, 1 over B, got the B from the period. The C number is also multiplied by 1 over B because it's also affected by this B, and it equals the new high number that I've got here, which is 5 pi over 12. Now as that's over 12, I'm going to make all of these over 12. So it's pi divided by 4, so I'm going to make it 3 pi divided by 12. This is C divided by 2, so I'm going to make it 6C divided by 12, and that equals 5 pi divided by 12. Now that allows me to just go through and do that and work out therefore that 6C is equal to 5 pi take away 3 pi, which equals 2 pi. So this is just really just a little bit of algebra and fractions that I'm doing here. So 2 divided by 6 gives me a third, so C is pi over 3. Now as I have, it would have started here at pi divided by 2, which is bigger than 5 pi divided by 12. The C number moves it that way, which means that I have in fact added on when I go that way. So my C number stays as positive pi over 3. So that's how I work out those 4 letters, A, D, B, and C.